know the truth shall make you free. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart, grace my fears relieved. How precious gift that grace would be. The hour I first believed, my chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Lord has ransomed me. Like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love and amazing His word, my hope secures, even my shield and portion. As long as life endures, my chains are gone, I've been set free. My Lord, my God has ransomed me, and like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love and amazing grace. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My Lord, my God has ransomed me, and like a flood, His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace. Now the earth will soon dissolve like snow, the sun forbear to shine, but God called me to be forever mine. Will we ever find, Lord, you are forever mine. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That's one way to say it. Here's another way. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bond which has connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitlement. A decent respect for the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Kind of famous little piece of paper there. Yeah. Stepping out into a world of freedom. The Bible story of Exodus, the Jews being led out of Egypt. That's my story. That is our story. The story of the birth of this country, that is my story. That is our story. Every day we have an opportunity to become the Exodus story. To become the independence which is ours. Every day we have that capability. That's why I said we do not need no stinking shackles. We don't need them. Here's another way to say it. If I were king of the forest, not a duke, not earl, not prince, my regal robes of the forest would be satin, not cotton, not chintz. I command each thing, be it fish or fowl, with a woof and oof and a royal growl. That's another way to say it. Which one works for you? Because understand, the story is happening. The story is happening. We need to come to the realization that the story is happening. If you have followed the news recently, I have one word: Brexit. Okay? Even if a number of people did not even know why they were voting. Okay, now we really should work on the education part before we cast a vote like that. We really should work on the education part. So you know what? Isn't it nice to have that opportunity? Here in November, we're going to have an opportunity to exercise our freedom by stepping into a polling place and flipping a switch, punching a button, pushing a chant, whatever it takes. We're going to have an opportunity to do that. And if we choose not to participate in the activity, then we lose the right to complain about it. You've got to show up. You want to make the world a better place, first thing you got to do, you got to wake up and show up. Got to. You got to. Once you learn that truth will set us free. We no longer will be bound by that. We won't. 2 Timothy 1:7, for God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. Power. There's a reason why there's this order here. Power, love, and self-control. There's a reason why there's an order on that. Okay? This is the story of our lives. As children, we feel extremely powerful. If I were king. Yes! We feel extremely powerful. We're going to live forever. We're going to do anything we want. And then we hang around with our parents for a while, and then we learn the love part. That becomes a thing. And maybe someday we'll even learn self-control. I don't know, by the time we're 80, 90, I don't know. God gave us a spirit not to fear. Not to fear. There is no reason to fear. There's no reason to fear. There are some evil people out there. Yes, there are. And they do bad things. Yes, they do. And we do too. Sometimes we do some pretty horrible things. Okay? We just need to adjust to that picture. It's okay. Because we can change that story. In a moment, we can change that story. In a moment, we can become the king of the forest once again. In a moment. What are we prepared to do. History is littered with the names of people who, in a time of great crisis, did the smallest thing. It was small at the time, and it reverberates. Rosa Parks sat on a bus. That's what she did. She sat on the bus. We're kind of all sitting right now. We can do that. And she was standing up for something when she was sitting down. She knew what was right. And she was standing up for what was right. In a moral code. What she was doing was amazingly illegal. The way the laws were written at the time. And she knew what was right. And she was willing to sit down for what she believed in. Remarkable. A little thing. A little thing. It doesn't take much. Sometimes what it takes is sitting down, as a bunch of our lawmakers did in Washington. Sometimes that's what it takes is sitting down. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you got to make a point, you know. Sometimes you got to sit down, because sometimes by sitting down you're standing up for something. It seems like a complete dichotomy, but it's true. Psalm 56, verse 4. In God, whose word I praise, in God I trust, I shall not be afraid. What can flesh do to me? Okay? I'm going to tell you something that's going to shock you. This is a temporary existence. I'm real sorry about that. The form that we have changes all the time. Pastor Julio and his wife Suzette are here visiting the folks over at Hope, and their kids are here with them. Now, the kids I haven't seen the kids in almost 2 years. Okay? They're little weeds. Because they used to be this tall 2 years ago, and now they're this tall. I know. It changes. Changes quickly. Changes quickly. Remember as a child, 2 years seemed like a long time? And now? Okay, we're halfway through 2016. When did that happen? I'm still adjusting to writing 2016 on my checkbook. And it's going to change. It's going to get changed. In less than half a year, it's going to change again. We've already hit the midpoint of the year. Now the days start getting shorter again. This is how things work. This is freedom. This is the way things work. The way things work is in a free way. Us wascally humans, via our ego and via our need to control and our need to be in charge and our need to tell other people what to do, we are the ones that oftentimes set the limits on what's happening. We're the ones that do that. We do that to ourselves, too. One of the best stories I ever heard is a woman who's a teacher in the second grade. That one of the things she would have the children do when they started the first day of second grade, is she would have them write a list of all the things that they can't do. She would have them make a list. They would sit there for 10 minutes, and she's helping them write their list on things that they can't do. She would take all their pieces of paper, gather them all up, and put them in a little stack, fold them all up, and put them in a little box. She had a friend of hers that was a bugler. And they would go out to the back part of the school property, and they would dig a hole. And they would put the box in the hole, and they would cover it with dirt. And the bugler would play taps. And they would put a little tombstone that says, "Here lies the things I can't do." She said, "Your can'ts are now buried there. I don't want to hear the word can't anymore." One of the greatest things that I ever heard one human being say, "You seriously can't do that?" The person said, "No, I just haven't learned how yet. Just haven't learned how yet." See, now, When I was growing up, life was a lot about cans and cans. Cans and cans, haves and have-nots. All that separation. All that separation. As I've gotten older, I've discovered this really nasty little truth, this really strange, powerful thing. Yeah, I can, I just haven't learned how yet. I have it, I just don't see it yet. That's my limitation. I don't need to have that anymore. I don't need to have that. There is nothing that cannot be done. Absolutely nothing that cannot be done. And even better, can be done in a wonderful spirit, in a wonderful way. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. There's that word. Against such things there is no law. I promise you, Rosa Parks knows that Bible. I promise you she does. I promise you, Gandhi knew that word. This last week, Elie Wiesel passed away. Lifelong Nazi hunter. Creator of the Holocaust Museum, remarkable writer, who lived a moral-based life. Often to great danger to himself and to his family. Often to scorn by intelligent people all over the world. And he didn't care because he knew what was right. He knew it. He knew what was right. He had an extremely strong sense of justice. Extremely strong sense of justice. And he also believed that people are good. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. This is a man who spent over 50 years looking for some of the most vile people on the planet who did some of the most horrendous things to our fellow human beings that we can even imagine, and some things that we don't even want to imagine. And he is looking for these people and hunting them down, and researching them, and finding out more about them, and building a case. And the way you build cases, you find out more horrible things that they've done. And you keep stacking that on top of each other. And then you find these people, and you bring them to justice. And even through that, he still knew that people were good. He still believed that people were good. He operated from a place where people are good. I get cut off in traffic and I lose my faith in people sometimes. I can't even imagine what that man was having to deal with over the course of it. I can't even imagine. The women and men that work at the Southern Poverty Law Center, dealing with the whole civil rights movement, and some just vile, vile people doing some horrendous things to one another. And they keep showing up at their job because they know what's right. We know what's right. We know. That's what's right. Love, joy, peace, patience and kindness, goodness and faithfulness, gentleness and self-control. That's what's right. You were called to freedom. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love to serve one another. The first part is what humans do. The second part is what God does through us. And the longer we let God operate through us, God starts moving at us. We do not become God. Don't hear that. That's not what I'm saying. God as us. It becomes a very freeing thing. Water metaphors get used a lot when discussing freedom. taking away the time, freer than the meaning of free, the then defined, running through me till I feel my Father God has called me, having nothing but possessing riches more than all, and I'm afraid to be nowhere, but in every place I need to be, freer than a sunbeam shining through my soul, free from feeling heat or knowing bitter cold, free like a river. My life goes on and on through eternity. When we discover that our human experience is just a temporary existence, it frees us from having to become acquisitioners. We don't need to amass. We don't need to pile things up. We don't need to gather. An old phrase, he who dies with the most toys wins. We don't need to be that way anymore. Because we understand that it's never the toy that makes a life. It is the person that makes the life. It is how they deal with one another, how we deal with one another, how I deal with each other. That's what makes the life. When you listen to people talk, the things that we remember the most, the things that have the strongest effect on us are the things that have moved our emotions. Whether through laughter, through tears, it's done something on a visceral level. It's never a thing level. That person they have the greatest shoes. That person has the greatest shoes. I've never heard anyone say that. I've never heard anyone say that. That person made me laugh. That person cared. That person really cared. Do you remember that time when he fell asleep, when he was little and fell asleep in the spaghetti? Spaghetti all running down his face. Remember that? These are the things we remember. These are the important things. These are the good things. These are the really good things. So no matter how bad it gets, out of my distress, I call on the Lord. The Lord answered me and set me free. Okay? To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Okay? This removes it from the realm of it's all about me. It's not what I do and how I do it for me. It is what I do for you. It is what you do for me. It is this interaction that is the freedom. It is this interaction that will grow us. Okay? Nelson, pretty smart guy. Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressor. The story of this country is a beautiful example of that very statement. Beautiful example of that. I promise you, the King of England did not want to let us go. We were a nice big cash cow. Sometimes you gotta sit down to stand up. America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. Okay? It's not their fault. My life stinks because of them. I have nothing because they have everything. Sorry. Thank you for playing our game. It's never about that. It's never about that. It is the choices we make. 99% of the time, it is purely about attitude. We talk often about having an attitude of gratitude. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Here's another way to look at it. If I were the king of the forest. There's another way to look at it. Here's another way to look at it. Oh, Tigger. There's another way to look at it. Here's another way to look at it. Whoa. All these are our choices. This is not somebody telling us we need to do that. These are our choices. The choices that we make dictate the lives that we lead. To our own selves be true. Here's another way to say it. I tried to contain myself, but I escaped. Have you ever had those days? I hope so. If you haven't, go find one of those days. Go find one of those days. I tried to contain myself, but I escaped. And lastly, freeing yourself is one thing. Claiming ownership of that freed self is another. We can say that we're free, and we can stand here and we can pontificate about how free we are. And when we do nothing with that, shame on us. Shame on us. If we see something that's not working, and we say nothing, and we do nothing, shame on us. Each and every person in this room is a completely, utterly unique vision of God. A completely, utterly unique child of God. Completely, utterly unique. With amazing power at our fingertips. Ready to be used at any moment in time. The next time comes up for someone to sit down on that bus. Sit down on that bus. It's the only fair thing to do. You can see it. Or not. But can't complain about the results then. Like a pine tree lining the winding road, I've got a name. I got a name. Like a singing bird or a croaking toad, I've got a name. I've got a name. And I carry it with me and I sing it loud. If it gets me nowhere, I'll go there proud. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Like the north wind's whistling out the sky, I've got a song, I've got a song. Like a whippoorwill or a baby's cry, I've got a song, I've got a song. And I carry it with me like my daddy did, but I'm living the dream that he kept hid. Rolling me down the highway, moving me down the in this day and in this age and on this weekend, take time to think about the freedoms that are afforded to us every day. Understand our part in those freedoms. And keep moving. Don't stand still. And I'm gonna go there free. Like a fool I am and I'll always be. I've got a dream. I've got a dream. They can change their minds, but they can't change me. I've got a dream. I've got a dream. Oh, I know I could share it if you want me to. If you're going my way, I'll go with you. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Rolling me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Don't let life pass you by. Don't do it. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. And that among these is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Stop trying to contain ourselves and escape. And that's all I'm saying.